I'm particularly excited by independent video games that are being made by people who have not made games before and are not necessarily taking video game culture as their main source of inspiration. So I'm not a gamer. I didn't grow up with video games. I definitely don't interface with that culture in the same way that a lot of consumers might. And I think that's influenced the way that I think about independent video game making. This is not true of all independent games, but is of a subset. That particular subset is games as cultural artifact, games as art objects, games as experiences that may not conform to the genre of video game necessarily, which is fine. In fact, that definition of games can be very limiting and is not apolitical. It excludes people from the conversation of who gets attention, who gets resources, who gets to be in the main narrative of video game culture. And so when we look at the fringe, we are noticing that these are people who have traditionally been excluded from the conversation by definitions. This is not a game allows you to say you don't get funding, you don't get onto a platform of distribution, you don't get exposure because we lack the vocabulary to talk about this experience. And so to change that, we're having to come up with new words and new bodies of power and new structures that allow us to distribute resources more equally.